Hi, my name is Riley Allen. This is my review of a Game of Thrones chapter Bran 1. This is my review of a Game of Thrones Bran 1. So we learn that Bran is 7 years old. He's 7 years old, and it's currently the 9th year of summer, because apparently Westeros is all funkified, and they got year-long seasons. Couldn't be me. Oof. He is riding out with, we later learned, a group of 20 men in air quotations, to see justice done. Among those men is Jory Castle, the captain of the guards, Hullen, the master of horse. Why the master of horse is gone with him, I don't know. Maybe because there's so many horses. Hullen's son Harwin, who's a guard. Lord Stark, Bran's father, and Bran's brothers, Robb Stark, the heir, and Jon Snow, his bastard half-brother. We later learn that Snow is the surname given to bastards born in the North. Because already, which is just, to tell the children, you ain't shit, you ain't gonna be shit, here's your surname to mark you as ain't shit. So, the man getting executed is a deserter of the Night's Watch. The man, Garrett, from the last chapter, the prologue. He saw the others, decided to nope all the way the fuck out, and haul his way past the wall, which, fair, but I feel like, honestly, I kind of initially was like, dude, why didn't you just go to, Castle Black and tell the Lord Commander? But also, how was that? And then I was realized, oh yeah, because it'd be like seeing a zombie and then going to, the governor of the state and saying, hey, there's a zombie. You're gonna find yourself in the, psych ward with some nice grippy socks, but they don't got that, in Westeros, I don't think so. He'd probably got laughed off and be like, ha, Garrett, oof, we're just gonna not put you on rangings for a while. That last one real fucked you up, huh? Anyway, we also get mention of Mance Rayder, the king beyond the wall, and his wildlings, who like to, according to the stories, drink blood from curved horns, steal girl children in the dead of night and whatnot, which is just like, Of course, they're just like the boogeyman stories. There is truth probably, but they're just boogeyman stories told to him by Old Man, which is like their old nanny nurse, I guess. We also meet Theon Greyjoy, who's Lord Stark's ward, and we later learn that, not in this chapter, I believe, but we do later learn that Theon Greyjoy is a hostage, technically. He's also the heir to the Iron Islands and House Greyjoy. Lord Stark does justice to the man in the name of King Robert of the House of Baratheon, the first of his name, the Lord of the Andals, Protector Rhoynar and First Men, King of the Rhoynar, Andals and First Men, Protector of the Realm and whatnot. Bran describes him as having taken off Father's face and donning the face of Lord Stark of Winterfell, which I did like. That just it's kind of a cool little distinction that Eddard Stark himself can do. He can separate Father from Lord Stark, which is a cool little thing. Robb, and we get a little description of Robb and Jon. Robb has blue eyes and reddish brown hair, while Jon has brown hair and gray eyes. They end up having a race, Jon and Robb. While they do that, because they're both 14, or they're about the same age. That's why I did the air quote 20 men earlier. So Lord Stark talks to Bran and asks Bran why he had to do that, why he had to execute him. And then that's when Bran said the, deserter thing, or the wildling thing, and Lord Stark corrects him saying, no, he was deserter of the Night's Watch. The Night's Watch is a sworn order where, you swear your life away, and deserter is a crime. And he said he knew that if he was caught, he was dead. So all crimes became something easy for him to do, as his life was already forfeit. And that's what made him dangerous. But he then proceeded to say, put emphasis on why I had to do that. And then he explained that they are of the first men. Their way is the older way. The man that passes the sentence must swing the sword. They must look the person in the eye and ask them of their final words. And if they can't look them in the eye, then they don't deserve to die. Which is a good little sentiment there, I guess. He also mentioned that the reason that while the Baratheons and the Targaryens before him had a headsman, he doesn't, or executioner, he doesn't, because if you send people to do your executions, you become numb to the death, and you should never become numb to the death when you have to give the orders for it to be done. Lord Stark is my favorite character already, dude. Damn. Also, I do love that, Bran did note that his father and Lord Stark seem to be different people, because that just tells me he can separate himself pretty decently from being the father and the Lord of the Castle. They end up going and finding this dead direwolf, or Robb and Jon do. And holy shit, this thing is bigger than a pony. Or it's the same size as a pony. What the hell? That thing's massive. Ponies aren't no small creatures, by the way. Anyway, they think it's a bad omen, and Harwin, Hullen, and Greyjoy want to kill the pups because, they don't want to take care of them. But Robb and Jon and Bran are against it. And Eddard Stark's also for killing them, as it's more of a mercy that their mother's dead. And, he points out when Robb brings up that they could be nursed by another dog, and they're like, no, that the dog would probably kill him. Eventually, Jon points out that there's 3 male pups and 2 female, and that Lord Stark has 3 trueborn sons and 2 trueborn daughters. Of course, Bran said in that moment he loved Jon. He has never loved Jon more, because Jon, it only works if Jon does not count himself. And Lord Stark knew this, and he asked him, do you not want a pup for yourself? I'm not a Stark. The direwolf is the sigil of House Stark, and I am not a Stark. Damn! I think this shows a good deal of Jon's character as well. As he prevented unnecessary bloodshed. Anyway, they agree. Robb and Bran agree to nurse them themselves, take care of them themselves. And then right as they're leaving, Jon hears something, a whining that only he can seem to hear. He goes and he finds an albino pup, the only one to have opened his eyes. And they theorize that he crawled away or was pushed away, which, I don't know, maybe that kind of means that Jon will be the first one to open his eyes to the reality of the world. He'll be the first one to leave, maybe? I don't know if that's supposed to imply something, or maybe it's, a little poke at his bastard status. Like, yeah, you're just so far away from your trueborn siblings, it doesn't even matter. I don't know. Overall, this was a nice, fun chapter. I really love that it gave us a good sense of Jon, Robb, well, not so much Robb, and Lord Stark. It also gave us a sense of Theon, who, after the beheading, walked up to the head and proceeded to laugh and kick it. I agree with what John said in the chapter. An ass. Despite us being in Bran's head, I didn't really get a good feel of who Bran is. Overall, I'm going to give this chapter maybe a good 6 out of 10. Thanks for watching the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.